Have you ever been there? That moment in a budding connection, a new relationship, or even a long-standing one, where something just feels off. You're talking, things are going great, and then suddenly there's a subtle shift. A comment, a question, an observation that feels like it's coming from left field. You might shrug it off, or maybe you find yourself scrambling for the right answer, feeling a strange pressure you can't quite articulate. It's almost as if you're being evaluated. But evaluated for what and why? Well, my friend, you're not imagining it. What you're experiencing are often subconscious, subtle tests. Think of them not as malicious games, but as natural, instinctive filters women use to gauge compatibility, safety, and a partner's true character. They're like little checkpoints on the road to a deeper connection, designed to reveal the real you beneath the surface. And here's the secret. When you understand what these tests are and why they happen, you stop fearing them and start seeing them as powerful opportunities. Opportunities to not just pass, but to truly shine, to deepen trust, and to build a foundation for an extraordinary relationship. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on 5 of these subtle signs, dissect what she's really looking for, and most importantly, equip you with the exact mindset and actions to pass every single time, turning every test into a step forward. So lean in, because this isn't just about passing tests. It's about becoming the confident, emotionally intelligent man she's subconsciously searching for. Let's dive into the first subtle sign, one that often catches men off guard because it seems so innocuous. Sign 1, the complaint or problem test. Imagine this. You're on a date, or maybe just chatting, and she starts talking about her day. Ugh, my boss was a nightmare today, she sighs. And then I got stuck in traffic for an hour, and now my car is making this weird noise. Or perhaps it's a more personal problem, like a friend who let her down, or a struggle she's having with a project. What's your immediate reaction? For many of us, especially men, our brains instantly switch into fix-it mode. We want to solve the problem, offer solutions, perhaps even minimize it with a "don't worry, it'll be fine." And while that comes from a good place, it often misses the mark entirely. She's not always looking for you to be her mechanic, her therapist, or her superhero. She's doing something far more fundamental. She's testing your empathy, your capacity for emotional presence, and whether you can be a safe space for her vulnerabilities. She's subconsciously asking, can this man simply be with me in my discomfort? Can he listen without judgment? Will he make me feel heard and understood? Or will he immediately try to dismiss my feelings or fix something I just need to vent about? She wants to see if you can hold space for her emotions, not just her logical problems. This test reveals whether you're a partner who can weather life's storms alongside her, or just someone who offers quick fixes from a distance. She's looking for a stable emotional anchor, not just a problem solver. How to pass the complaint test. The secret sauce here is active listening and validation. Instead of jumping to solutions, lean into curiosity and empathy. Try responses like, "Wow, that sounds incredibly frustrating. Tell me more about that. That's really tough. I can only imagine how draining that must have been." So, your boss was a nightmare, traffic was awful, and now car trouble? That's a triple whammy. How are you feeling after all that? Then, and this is crucial, ask her what she needs. Is there anything I can do to help, or do you just need to vent? How can I support you right now? The goal isn't to solve it, but to show you're present and attuned to her emotional experience. When you validate her feelings, you communicate that her emotions are important, that she's not alone, and that you're a safe harbor. You're showing her that you have emotional intelligence, a rare and deeply attractive quality. You're saying, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here for you, whatever you need. Common mistakes to avoid. Immediately offering unsolicited advice. Dismissing her feelings. It's not that bad. Just forget about it. One-upping her. You think that's bad. Let me tell you about my day. Trying to logically dissect the problem when she just needs to express. Think of it like this. When she brings you a problem, she's handing you a delicate vase of emotions. Most men with good intentions try to immediately superglue it back together. But what she really wants is for you to just hold the vase carefully, acknowledge its brokenness, and ask if she needs help finding the glue, or if she just needs you to admire its unique cracks for a moment. Pass this test, and you've shown her you're capable of profound connection. Now, let's move to our second subtle sign, one that can make even the most confident men feel a twinge of insecurity. Sign 2. The jealousy inducer, or other guys. Test. This test can manifest in various forms, from the overtly obvious to the incredibly subtle. It could be her casually mentioning, "Oh, my co-worker Mark was telling me about this great new restaurant," or "My ex used to always do XYZ." Maybe she tells a story about how some guy hit on her at the grocery store, or how a mutual friend expressed interest. The crucial thing to remember is that she's not necessarily trying to make you jealous in a mean-spirited way. Her intention is often much more primal. She's testing your confidence, your security, and how you handle perceived competition. She's trying to answer a core question. Is he secure enough in himself and in our connection to not be rattled by the existence of other interested men? She wants to see if you trust yourself and if you value her enough to be unthreatened by the outside world. She's looking for a man who knows his worth, who isn't easily swayed by fleeting shadows of insecurity, and who believes he's the prize without needing to constantly prove it. This isn't about her comparing you. It's about her seeing if you're comparing yourself, if your self-esteem is fragile, or if you possess an unwavering inner strength. How to pass the jealousy inducer. Test. The key here is unshakable confidence, a calm demeanor, and an abundance mindset. You want to acknowledge her comment casually, perhaps even with a light-hearted touch, and then pivot back to your connection or a topic of interest. Show, don't tell, that you're the secure man she's looking for. If she mentions a co-worker, "Oh, Mark, he sounds like he has good taste. Is that the restaurant with the amazing type of cuisine?" Then swiftly pivot back to something about your plans or conversation. Anyway, speaking of amazing places, remember that little cafe we talked about trying? If she mentions an ex, sounds like an interesting guy. So tell me, what was your favorite part of that trip you took last summer? Acknowledge, don't dwell. Pivot to a new topic or something you're discussing. If she says someone hit on her, well, I can certainly see why they would. You're quite captivating. A genuine compliment. Then move on without fishing for more details or making it a big deal. Your goal is to demonstrate that you are unfazed. You believe in your own value, you trust her, and you're not going to let the ghost of other men disturb your peace or your pursuit of her. You're showing her that you're so confident in your own unique appeal that external factors don't threaten you. You're the leader, the prize, and you know it without needing to be arrogant or insecure. You're communicating, I appreciate you, I respect you, and I trust that you're here with me. Common mistakes to avoid: getting visibly insecure, nervous, or uncomfortable, asking too many questions about the other guy, getting angry or defensive, trying to win by boasting about your own past experiences or achievements, making it a competition or showing any form of jealousy. Think of it like this: she's poking a fence post to see if it's solid. If it wobbles, she might think it's not a strong boundary. If it stands firm, she knows she's found something reliable. Pass this test and you solidify your position as a man of unwavering self-worth, making her feel even more secure and attracted to you. Let's move on to our third subtle sign, one that can subtly reveal a lot about your character and self-respect. Sign 3. The boundary push or convenience request test. This test often comes disguised as something completely normal or even considerate. She might ask for something that's slightly inconvenient for you, outside your established routine, or that requires you to drop everything at a moment's notice. Examples could include, "Hey, I know it's last minute, but can you pick me up right now? My ride fell through. Would you mind helping me move this heavy furniture on your only day off? Can you wait for me for an hour? I'm running really late. Could you just grab that for me, please?" When she could easily do it herself. Again, her intention isn't usually malicious. She's subconsciously probing to see where your boundaries lie. She's asking, does this man have self-respect? Does he value his own time, plans, and priorities? Or is he a pushover, someone who will sacrifice his own needs to accommodate mine, simply to gain my approval? She's looking for a man with a backbone, someone who knows how to say no respectfully when necessary, because a man who respects himself will likely respect her and the relationship. A man without boundaries can quickly become a doormat, and while initially convenient, it ultimately erodes attraction and respect. She wants a partner, not a personal assistant. How to pass the boundary push test. The master key here is to confidently and kindly communicate your boundaries. You don't need to be aggressive or defensive. A clear, calm no or a counteroffer shows that you value your time and yourself, and that your yes genuinely means something. If it's a last-minute pickup, I appreciate you asking, but I'm actually tied up right now with your current activity plan. I can't make it work this time. Is there another way you could get there? Offer an alternative if you genuinely can, but don't feel obligated. If it's an inconvenient favor, I can help you with that, but I won't be free until another time day. Or, I actually have other plans then, but I can help you find someone who might be available. If she asks you to wait excessively, I can wait for another 15 minutes, but then I'll need to head off. Text me when you're almost here, politely stating your limit. If it's a small, easily done by her request, you've got this. I know you can reach it. Encouraging her agency instead of automatically complying. By setting boundaries, you're not rejecting her, you're teaching her how to treat you. You're showing her that you have a life, that your time is valuable, and that you have self-respect. This signals that you're a high-value individual who won't be easily manipulated or taken for granted. It establishes you as an equal partner, someone who has agency and isn't afraid to use it. This creates respect, which is a cornerstone of deep attraction. Common mistakes to avoid. Automatically saying yes, even when it's inconvenient or you don't want to. Getting defensive or aggressive when saying no. Making excuses or over-explaining your no. A simple, confident no is often enough. Being passive-aggressive about it later. Imagine you're a sturdy tree. If someone tries to bend you too easily and you always yield, they'll keep pushing. But if your trunk is firm and your roots are deep, they'll learn to respect your strength. Pass this test and you demonstrate strength of character and self-worth, making her respect and admire you more. Let's delve into our fourth subtle sign, one that probes deeper into your compatibility for the long haul. Sign 4, the value alignment or life philosophy test. This test often emerges in conversations that might seem purely intellectual or even philosophical. She might bring up topics like future goals, family dynamics, career ambitions, financial habits, social issues, or even simple hypothetical scenarios. For example, what do you think about people who never want to get married? Do you think it's important for a couple to have completely aligned careers, or is independence better? What's your ideal vision for the future? My friend just got a new job, but she's going to be traveling all the time. I just don't know how I'd feel about that in a relationship. Do you prefer living in the city or the countryside? She's not just making small talk. She's subtly trying to ascertain if your fundamental values, your ambitions, your perspectives on life, and your vision for the future are compatible with hers. She's asking, are we on the same page about the big stuff? Could this man be a good co-pilot for my life's journey? Do our core beliefs align enough for a lasting, meaningful connection? She's looking for someone who shares similar life aspirations, someone whose outlook complements her own, someone who can be a true partner in building a shared future. She's assessing whether your internal compass points in a similar direction, ensuring that as you navigate life's challenges, you're moving together, not pulling in opposite directions. How to pass the value alignment test. The key here is authenticity, clarity, and thoughtful articulation of your own values and vision. Don't just agree to impress her, and don't be afraid to have a slightly different perspective, as long as you can explain it reasonably. Engage in the discussion as a genuine exchange of ideas. If she asks about marriage, for me, I definitely see myself building a life with someone special, creating a family. What about you? Share your truth, then turn the question back to her. If she asks about careers, I think it's important to support each other's passions, whatever they are, while also carving out quality time for the relationship. I value a partner who is driven, but also values shared experiences. What's your take? If she talks about living preferences, I love the energy of the city, but I also dream of having a quiet escape someday where I can recharge. It's about finding that balance for me. What draws you to the countryside? By clearly and confidently articulating your own well-considered perspective, you show her that you are a man of substance, that you have a thoughtful internal compass, and that you're not afraid to stand for what you believe in. Even if your views aren't 100% identical, the fact that you can articulate them maturely and engage in a respectful dialogue demonstrates intellectual and emotional maturity. This shows her you're a deep thinker, not just someone who goes with the flow, and that you respect yourself enough to be honest about what truly matters to you. It's about finding harmony, not necessarily perfect unison. Common mistakes to avoid: giving vague answers or trying to be non-committal. Just agreeing with everything she says to seem agreeable. Pretending to have values or ambitions you don't genuinely possess. Not having any clear values or vision for your own life. Becoming defensive or dismissive if your views differ slightly. Imagine you're both building a house. She's subtly checking if your blueprints match enough to build a harmonious home together. If you're building a skyscraper and she's building a cabin, there might be some foundational issues. Pass this test and you show her you're a man with purpose and direction, a potential partner who can truly co-create a fulfilling life. And now, for our fifth and final subtle sign, one that truly tests your resilience and emotional leadership. Sign 5, the pressure cooker or emotional roller coaster test. This test is perhaps the most challenging because it can feel intense and sometimes even uncomfortable. It's when she expresses heightened emotions, perhaps frustration, sadness, or even a flash of anger or irritation. This is not about abuse or intentionally trying to upset you. It's often a genuine, intense, emotional reaction to a situation or a moment of deep vulnerability. It could be an argument that suddenly escalates, a sudden mood swing due to stress, or a raw, unfiltered expression of a bad day. For example, she might get visibly upset or teary about a relatively small issue. She might become short-tempered or irritable when something goes wrong. She might express a strong, unmanaged emotional outburst that feels disproportionate to the trigger. She shares a deeply vulnerable fear or insecurity with an intensity that might feel heavy. In these moments, she's testing your emotional regulation, your ability to stay calm under pressure, and your capacity to be a stable anchor when her world feels turbulent. She's subconsciously asking, can this man handle strong emotions? Can he be a steady presence when I'm feeling overwhelmed or upset? Will he meet my emotional intensity with his own, leading to an explosion? Or will he provide a calming, reassuring presence? Can he lead us through emotional storms? She's looking for a leader in emotional situations, not someone who gets swept away by the tide, or worse, adds to the chaos. She wants to know if you can be her rock, her safe haven, when life gets messy. How to pass the pressure cooker test. The ultimate key here is to maintain your calm, regulate your own emotions, and provide a steady, empathetic presence. Do not mirror her emotions. Your role is to de-escalate, validate, and offer a space for her to feel her feelings without judgment. Breathe and ground yourself. Before you react, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that her emotions are hers and you don't need to take them on or fix them immediately. Acknowledge and validate. I can see you're really upset, tired, frustrated, sad right now. That sounds incredibly difficult. It makes sense that you'd feel that way given what you're going through. Ask for clarification, calmly. Can you tell me more about what's going on? What's really bothering you right now? Offer a safe space. I'm here for you. Take your time. Let's talk about it when you're ready. But no, I'm here to listen. Avoid logical solutions initially. In heightened emotional states, logic often falls on deaf ears. Focus on emotional support first. Lead with calm. Your calm energy can be contagious. Be the eye of the storm. By staying calm, acknowledging her feelings, and refusing to get drawn into the emotional drama, you demonstrate immense emotional intelligence, self-control, and leadership. You show her that you're a safe person, capable of providing stability even in the most turbulent emotional waters. This builds deep trust and profound respect, making her feel safe, heard, and deeply connected to you. You're showing her you're a lighthouse, not just another wave. Common mistakes to avoid. Getting defensive or argumentative. Shutting down, withdrawing, or running away from the emotion. Yelling back or escalating the situation. Minimizing her feelings. It's not that big of a deal. trying to logically explain or fix the situation when she just needs to feel her feelings, taking her emotional intensity personally. Imagine she's sailing a boat in a sudden, unexpected storm. She's looking to you, her co-captain, to stay calm, steady the helm, and navigate, not to panic and start throwing things overboard. Pass this test, and you prove yourself to be an emotionally intelligent, resilient partner, a man she can truly rely on when life inevitably throws its curveballs. So, we've walked through 5 subtle signs she might be testing you, and for each we've explored the why and the how to pass. But beyond these specific scenarios, there are overarching principles that, when embodied, will allow you to pass any test, expected or unexpected, with grace and authenticity. Think of these as your master key. The master key, general principles for passing every time. 1. Authenticity is non-negotiable. The most attractive thing you can be is genuinely yourself. Pretending to be someone you're not to pass a test will eventually unravel. These tests are designed to reveal the real you. Let it be a good one. When you're authentic, you attract the right person for you and not for the persona you created. 2. Unshakable confidence, not arrogance. This isn't about being boastful or superior. It's an inner knowing of your own worth. It's the quiet assurance that you're a good man with value to offer, regardless of external validation. Confidence means you're comfortable in your own skin, you're not easily rattled, and you trust your own judgment. This is magnetic. 3. High emotional intelligence. This is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to recognize and influence the emotions of others. It means being present, empathetic, and attuned. It's knowing when to listen, when to offer solutions, when to set a boundary, and when to simply be. Emotional intelligence is arguably the most attractive trait a man can possess. Strong, respectful boundaries. Knowing your limits and communicating them kindly is paramount. It shows self-respect and teaches others how to treat you. A man with boundaries is respected. A man without them is often taken for granted. Remember, boundaries are not walls. They are guardrails that protect the integrity of your relationships. 5. Playfulness and humor. Life is serious enough. A man who can inject lightness, humor, and playfulness into interactions, especially during moments of tension, is incredibly refreshing. It shows that you don't take yourself too seriously, that you can reframe situations, and that you have a light touch. But remember, humor should never come at the expense of her feelings. 6. Presence and active engagement. Be fully present in the conversation and the moment. Put your phone away, make eye contact, listen, not just to respond, but to understand. When you are truly present, you pick up on the subtleties, you hear the unspoken, and you make the other person feel incredibly valued. 7. Abundance mindset, not scarcity. This means understanding that there's always an abundance of opportunities, connections, and good things in life. You're not desperate, clinging, or easily swayed by fear of loss. An abundance mindset makes you calm, generous, and unthreatened because you know your worth isn't tied to any single outcome or person. These tests are not meant to trap you. They are opportunities disguised as challenges. They are her subconscious way of gaining crucial information about your character, your emotional maturity, and your potential as a partner. When you approach them with understanding, confidence, and authenticity, you transform what could be awkward missteps into powerful moments of connection and attraction. Remember, The goal isn't to manipulate an outcome or to play games. The goal is to consistently show up as your best, most authentic, emotionally intelligent self. When you do that, you're not just passing her tests. You're attracting the kind of deep, meaningful relationship you truly deserve, with someone who values and cherishes the incredible man you are. So, go forth, my friend. Understand these signs, embody these principles, and watch as your connections deepen and flourish. The power is truly in your hands.